signal feud resume, after China blatantly held military training in the area of dispute. Hearing the news that China was on standby until the title of combat training, the United States did not stay silent by sending 2 aircraft carriers into the South China Sea region. And recently, border disputes between China and Japan in the Senkaku Islands and China with India in the Himalayas are growing. 2 countries that feel aggrieved by the Chinese movement are now sending signals to Beijing. The signal is in the form military training together at Indian Ocean between India and Japan. By the Indian and Japanese navies in the Indian Ocean last week gave an indication that the 2 countries were getting closer to confronting what they considered a joint threat from China. Joint military exercises involving the 2 countries are indeed not uncommon, but the latest activity took place amid the tensions experienced by the 2 countries with Beijing. Meanwhile, Japan and China argued in a battle of words about Japan's move to change the administration status of the Senkaku Islands, which China claims to be the Diaoyu Islands. Their Chinese ambassador to India Sun Weidong said Indian forces were responsible for the clash because they had crossed the actual control line which acted as a de facto border. In response, Indian ambassador to China Vikram Misri warned of ripples and impacts in diplomatic relations as China tried to forcibly change the status quo on land. Then when Tokyo and Beijing had a war of words over the islands in the East China Sea, the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs called the Japanese move a serious provocation against the sovereignty of China's territory. Meanwhile, Japanese Defense Minister Taro Kono responded that Tokyo would monitor Beijing's intentions, and not just its battle capabilities. This exercise is the latest indication that geopolitical competition is heating up in the Indian and Pacific Oceans. This month alone, the United States has conducted 3 exercises in the Philippine Sea and South China Sea. Tensions also increased high between China and Vietnam after 2 Chinese ships crashed and sank a Vietnamese fishing boat. ASEAN itself has issued what many experts see as a strong statement against China's claim to the South China Sea when it said the 1982 United Nations Ocean Treaty should be the basis for determining territorial claims in waters. Philippine Defense Minister Delfin Lorenzana said that India had expressed its desire to conduct navigation activities in the South China Sea such as the United States, US, Britain and other countries to maintain the balance of power in the region. To that end, he said that the Philippines and India could join hands to counter China's strict stand in the South China Sea. Furthermore, Lorenzana added that navigation in the South China Sea is open to all countries. We have not prevented other countries from passing or doing things there in the South China Sea. Britain is indeed passing through the South China Sea. France, all other countries. We did not invite them to come. Lorenzana said this after Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte held discussions and decided to expand their strategic partnership with the Philippines in the South China Sea. Lorenzana's remarks were also made at a time when tensions in the South China Sea were high, where the Chinese and US military had mutually reinforced their presence. Moreover, the Chinese military has conducted intensive training in the region which it has claimed for the last time. Lorenzana stressed that Chinese naval exercises in the South China Sea were worth worrying about.